He did Caligula, didn't he? Derek Sherman? Or wait,
that was Bob Guccione.
Oh yes, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
there's a big difference. Yeah, Derek.
Big difference. That was Bob Guccione, I think.
Oh, so close.
Hey, Derek, they misstood us again, Derek.
We're always getting mixed
We're
up.
always
Me and
getting
Derek
mixed up.
Sherman.
Everybody thinks I'm doing these, arty movies, and I'm best friends with Tilda Swinton, but no, I'm Bob Guccione.
That's a movie. Have you seen that? Have you seen Caligula?
Oh my God! So Caligula, I searched because I looked at my grandfather had the Roger Ebert movie guide,
Yeah.
and the only movie that has no stars was Caligula. And he's like, "This is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life." And his description of it was like, they give this guy a ton of food, and then they poke him with holes, and all the food comes out of his stomach. And I was like, well, I have to see this. And so I searched. It became like this kind of weird quest.
Yeah, I bet.
Especially in Tulsa. I grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it was like very strict. Like you couldn't see the tin drum in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah. That's a weird fucking movie.
It was a very strange movie.
It's a very strange movie.
And I mean, there was a lot. Poison. I remember the great Todd Haynes movie.
Oh yeah, that's a great
Couldn't
movie.
find that one anywhere. And that was one of them, was Caligula. I was like, do you guys have Caligula? And like, we can't carry Caligula. This is Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Why don't you finally manage to see it somewhere?
I saw it, and this is like Last House on the Left. I went to New York and went to Times Square. I had a great moment. I went to Times Square, and I was looking for, it was like Caligula and these other movies that you couldn't find. And I remember this guy, my first interaction with a New Yorker, and he went, "Hey, Stretch, you gonna rent anything?" And I was like, "I don't think so." And he goes, "Then get the fuck out of my store." Because he wanted to close. No, I finally saw it, and it was kind of a letdown. It was kind of like, oh, this is like stupid.
Yeah, the guy with the stomach, the food coming out, so very small.
Very small part. I thought that was the whole movie. Nah, Caligula was kind of a bummer.
Did Kubrick films like Clockwork Orange, did that hit you hard when you were a kid?
Huge.
Okay.
Yeah. Outside of just the cinematic aspects of it, every aspect of that movie, the photography, the acting, the costume design, the production design, the music, Jesus.
Yeah.
Everything is so specific to make it something so incredibly unique. And, Paul and I have talked about, I think we talked about with you, the acting in that's like kabuki theater. It's not real.
It's
I
strange.
think that kind of helps.
Yeah, well, Clockwork Orange somehow weirdly gets away with some of it because it is almost the acting. It almost is like kabuki theater.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing realistic in those performances at all. It's so big.
Yeah.
Like even the warden guy, who's like,
Hello, little Alex, or something.
yeah,
Black guy,
Patrick,
Patrick
McGee. Everybody's like, food, all right. Try the wine, all
Try
that
the
stuff.
wine.
Yeah, all that stuff. But it's so over the top. I mean, bananas, and that's what's weird about that movie is like the tone is all over the place.
To me, I always felt that film was he's narrating it, so it's from his point of view, and he has this very skewed point of view, an exaggerated point of view of humanity. And if you watch it, when things are going good for him, the music's high and everything, and the women in it,
Beethoven.
yeah, and the women in it are all kind of gorgeous and voluptuous. And I understood the criticism of the male gaze of that movie, but I think it's totally, I think that's totally warranted. But the way I saw it was that, it is the male, it's his gaze. So I don't know if those women look like that in the reality.
Interesting.
In his reality.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I
They
didn't
all
thought of
look
that.
like this.
Yeah.
In his reality, that's the way his parents look. His mom has a weird fucking, in his reality, this is what it is.
And the women are highly sexualized, and that's
highly
very
sexualized,
interesting.
and the members of his group are all idiots.
Yeah.
And the other groups are all kind of like ugly morons, but he's this kind of virile, and the woman at the who gives him the test, is a real shrew, and
Yeah.
how everything is very caricature-y. It's like his little caricature book,
Yeah.
and
That's a helpful way to think of the film. I hadn't really thought that through.
yeah. Well, for me, that's how I always saw the film. Not always, repeated viewings of it, because what unlocked it for me was the moment when he's kicked out of his house, and it cuts to that scene.
The other guy lives in his house.
Oh yeah, that's Joe. That's Joe.
Go ahead.
He lives here now. He's taken your room, but but there's a moment where Malcolm McDowell is feeling, he has a little parcel and he's sad and he's been kicked out of the house, and it's the scene where the bum that they beat up notices him, and the music's very sad. It's like it's almost overly,
Yeah. Melodrama.
It is actually, like when melodrama, when people do, like when you feel sorry for someone, you pretend to do like a violin. It's literally that music.
Right, heavy vibrato on the strings.
Yeah. And he's just like, it's like all is lost for poor little me. And then he gets the shit kicked out of him. And then it just keeps getting worse and worse.
My dad would introduce me to shit,
Yeah.
but he wasn't like,
Kentucky Fried
you have to
Movie.
like this. I remember him showing me Clockwork Orange, and I was like, I should not have seen it, probably. You guys wrote a great piece about Clockwork
Yeah,
Orange.
we just
actually.
did,
Yeah, I love
last
that. I
week.
thought that was a great piece. But I, for some reason, got it, I was like, oh, I understand that, and it wasn't, I was like, oh, that's kind of I don't know if that was the intention of the filmmaker or whatever, but it hit me on a certain level, an emotional level, that I got, and I'd never seen a movie that looked like that, sounded like that. Every element of it was something I'd never seen. The way it was shot, edited, the use of music, the costumes, the production design, everything. It was funny. The Ringer just did a article that was pretty good about the Clockwork Orange on Netflix, and like, will people be able to understand that it's a piece of art and understand what it's trying to say and not just react to it. And it was interesting. It was an interesting article, but that is definitely one of the movies I like that I say I like that I'm constantly defending why I like it. Clockwork Orange. Yeah, people get really angry when they talk to you about that movie. And some of them, most of it, I just go, all right, that's your thing. I'm not going to tell you you're right or wrong. I'm going to say, here's how it affected me.
Right.
Why I was moved by it, but, I get it. But I feel like Clockwork Orange is the misogyny in it is kind of like born within like how bad the guy is and how bad the society is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that if you take that ability away from somebody, they're not human anymore.
Yeah.
And so that it's this really, like, we all have this ability to be an Alex. We just choose not to, But it's so hard to explain that to someone after they watch the first 30 minutes of the movie and they're like, why would I want to watch these guys gang rape a woman? And I go, no, I don't like watching that stuff. But as a story, it's not fun, but not all movies have to be fun.
What I loved about that film, or what I thought was amazing about it, was that the theme of the movie, my reaction to it is the kind of the theme of the movie, where I was watching this guy do all these despicable things, and then he gets caught, and then he gets out, and all the people he perpetrated it on, they are now perpetrating it upon him. And karma, and I found it really satisfying.
Yeah.
So I'm finding it really satisfying seeing him get the shit kicked out of him. And that's kind of what the movie's about. Yeah.
But then the last act is like hard for you to take because there's a reversion, right? To the
But where it's like he gets beat up and everything, and I'm like, this is kind of what the movie's about. Without violence, we're not human. Without this anger I'm having right now, I am not a human being.
Yes, that's very
you know
interesting.
What I mean?
Yeah, you're
Without
totally
this.
enjoying the revenge. Yeah, no, it's true.
I'm enjoying the revenge, and that heat or this anger or whatever towards this guy, this asshole. I'm now like, oh, this is kind of what the movie's about, which is like, if I don't have that was taken away from me, I would cease to be human. So it's like, it's kind of enacting into it, and then so by the end of the film, he reverses it and he's, cured. And the last bit of it is kind of like just the most like, hardcore social satire it is, where you literally have the government feeding him and all these things, and it's very funny and everything. But you know, I think that for me, that's the power of that movie from my experience. Well, it's satisfying.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that's why I watched Dateline, because at the end of Dateline, the guy gets caught. There's justice, because it tells you it is a fair world. It is a fair, just world.
That's right.
I want to feel that. And if I don't feel that, then I can't, get up out of bed in the morning, or, but
you can only experience it in art, in the imagination, because reality doesn't give it to you.
Right. So, there's that thing where I'm watching Alex, in Clockwork Orange, get beat up when his two friends, his cohorts, are now cops, and they're beating him with a pipe, and they're holding him underwater. And it's really tough, but there's a part of me that's like, well, I watched this guy, rape a woman in front of her husband, and he did all this horrible shit.
Yeah, he's scumbag.
He's scumbag. I'm kind of loving this. But then I'm like, well, wait a minute. wait.
Why am I loving this so much?
Why am I loving this? Wait, that's not good.
It's true, though.
Yeah. What does it say about me? What is it about seeing the other side that lose that's so satisfying, Believe me, I've seen that movie with other people, and they go, can we please turn this off? Or this is not for me. Or I'll recommend it. I recommended it to my friend and his wife, and the next time I saw them, they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
That?
We turned it off. That was awful. And I was like, "But don't you?" Like, why do you always like this dark stuff? Why can't you watch Father the Bride or something? Why is it always got to be such dark shit? Clockwork Orange was a massive one for me, and it was really polarizing. It's still like a very polarizing movie. I talked to people, and and I think they have good points about it too. I have a friend that says, I don't like that these guys are, she grew up with those posters of droogs, and the droogs are like a pop culture thing. And she's like, they're rapists.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's kind of, I didn't like going into dorm rooms, and there's these or guys would dress up like it for Halloween, and and that's just I found that really disturbing. And that's a fair point.
I love the film Clockwork Orange. That was a movie that was very formidable for me. I understand that movie is not easy to watch, but I can have a conversation of why that movie struck me so much, and my views of violence and and the human condition and all these things, whatever. And I did have a conversation that was the only really time where it was the opposite of what you're describing, because usually it's what you're describing where I go, I don't know what you want out of it. But I had a friend say, but what bothers me about that film was that it became pop culture, and that people would dress up like droogs. And I remember seeing the Blur video, and they're dressed up like droogs and all these other things. Bart Simpson was dressed up like a droog, and they're monsters. And I went, you know what? That's a very good point. You're right. That is a very good point. I mean, that I could understand if you go and watch that film and you go, I hate that when you go into, people have posters of Alex on their wall and shit. And it's like, that shouldn't be, And I said, I can understand why you wouldn't like that film based on that. But I think that bit is out. That's the unfortunate byproduct of the thing,